Hello there, everybody. I'm going to talk to you about Song of Songs, which is a book in the Bible written by King Solomon, one of my favorite people in the Bible. Not even for any real reason. I like him. He's an interesting person. And anyway, let me just read that, and then I will talk about it a little bit. Sorry. Okay, Song of Songs 1. Solomon's Song of Songs. Sorry. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is more delightful than wine. Pleasing is the fragrance of your perfumes. Your name is like perfume poured out. No wonder the maidens love you. Take me away with you. Let us hurry. Let the king bring me into his chambers. We rejoice and delight in you. We will praise your love more than wine. And I didn't read the very top of it. It says wedding day. So at first it said beloved. So that sounds like the woman talking to the man. And then this says friends. So like their wedding guests. We rejoice and delight in you. We will praise your love more than wine. Then beloved, I guess now this is the man talking to the woman. I don't know, maybe it's still the woman talking. And because, I don't know. But it's like, how right they are to adore you. Dark am I, yet lovely. O daughters of Jerusalem, dark like the tents of Kedar, like the tent curtains of Solomon. Do not stare at me because I am dark, because I am darkened by the sun. My mother's sons were angry with me and made me take care of the vineyards. My own vineyard I had neglected. Tell me, you whom I love, where you graze your flock and where you rest your sheep at midday. Why should I be like a veiled woman besides the flocks of your friends? And then it just kind of goes on and on a little bit more. And as I said, this was written by Solomon, and it's based on a relationship that he had with a woman. Solomon had a lot of women, lots, like numerous wives. He was like a polygamist to the max, and then he had concubines as well, and that is in the Bible. That's recorded in the Bible somewhere. That just came to me right now to talk about that, so I didn't reference it before. But Solomon had a lot of wives and a lot of concubines, which really makes me wonder about marriage in biblical times, because it is absolutely impossible for a man to carry on that many relationships with women simultaneously. So yeah, I mean, I do kind of wonder about that and question that a little bit. But the amount of wives, I mean, it was like in the like hundreds of thousands. I mean, I'm talking like Wilt Chamberlain kind of numbers, but Solomon had wives and concubines. So there's that. But anyway, my point in reading that and encouraging you to read Song of Songs, because it is a relationship about a man and a woman, and it's a loving relationship, and they enjoyed each other as people enjoyed each other sexually. Now, this was a man and a wife. As I just said, I kind of question uh, what marriage was in this time period, especially for a person like Solomon, who was a king, and he was, raised royal. So, he's a man who is quite privileged. So, I mean, there are some question marks there. But anywho, as I said, it's presenting a healthy, loving relationship. I'm going to go ahead and give them healthy, okay? I know in social media people like to pick things apart, but I'm just going to go ahead and give them healthy. I mean, they sound happy to me, so hey, whatever. But it's a pleasant, enjoyable relationship between a man and a woman, and it's presented in the Bible. So that tells me that that is something that is thought of as a blessing, and something that can add something to your life. I just think that all over the place, there's just a lot of negativity spoken about relationships and romantic relationships and such. But I do believe that it's a good thing to have a companion, a loving companion. Like if you're a woman, that masculine presence is a good thing to have in your life. If you're a man, that feminine presence is a good thing to have in your life. Nothing against the LGBT community, but this is just what I'm talking about right now. I mean, so, that's that. I am once again speaking from the perspective of a heterosexual female, and so I cannot speak from anyone else's perspective. And I myself have never been in a relationship with a woman, so I don't know anything about that dynamic. So not something I'm going to talk about. But anyway, I just wanted to say it might be a good thing to read Song of Songs, just kind of a refreshing bit of scripture about a relationship between a man and a woman who seem to like each other and enjoy each other. That is not a trope that we are given often in today's world, and I do think that it's really affecting people negatively. Another thing, if you are a single person, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. I don't think there's absolutely anything wrong with enjoying the single life. There are many benefits to it, and I know people who have lived into like old age as single people, and they enjoy it, and they would not change it, after a divorce, or maybe they never married. So there's nothing wrong with being single. But if you're a person who would like to be coupled up, just have some standards and go and find somebody. Because one thing that I'm kind of tired of is the single person's pity party that's all over social media, all over the place. And it's just kind of like, well, I don't know, people have all these standards that they create for themselves in a vacuum. And of course, you have to have standards, godly standards, and look to the Bible for what the Bible says, is a good measure for a man or measure for a woman. But people just kind of live in their imagination that was influenced more than likely by Hollywood. And they decided they have these standards, like a man that's any less than 6'4" is unacceptable. Well, I mean, unless you live somewhere where there are a lot of men who are 6'4" and up, I mean, you've reduced your dating pool by, I don't know, like 98% or something. I don't know. Like, I mean, I haven't done the research on heights, but you get the point. Your dating pool is pretty much who is around you, honestly. And of course, you can change your surroundings to a certain extent, but it's who you come in contact with, who's around you. For me, I do think that that includes, some of these dating apps and stuff. I mentioned once before that I used to work in retail, working at places like Zales and Kay, like selling jewelry. And so I sold a lot of engagement rings to people. I met a lot of couples, and I would say a fair share of them met through like dating apps. I remember a man and a woman met on Facebook. People still meet at bars and nightclubs. People meet at church. People still meet through their group of friends. So, you know, just stop the pity party. If dating is important to you and finding someone to marry is important, you just stop pity party and do what you gotta do and find someone, because this pity party has been going, as I've said before, I'm in my mid 40s. I'm a bit of a social media junkie. I kind of need to pray for deliverance from it. And before that, back in the 90s, I used to watch these, TV talk shows and just a single person's pity party. I'm just over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. If you want a boyfriend or girlfriend, go find somebody. That's all there is to it. I mean, yeah. And even if you strike out, hey, just keep trying to get up to the plate. The more times you get up, you get on the plate, the more times you have, the more opportunities you have to get on base. So eventually you'll hit one out of the park, or maybe you'll get just put on third and you can slide into home or something like that. But pardon the baseball references if you are not familiar with that sport. But anyway, I just think that in 2020, people need to change their attitudes towards relationships. Men and women need to learn how to appreciate and respect each other a little bit better, a lot better, actually, and stop the single person's pity party. Adopt some standards that are godly, common sense standards, as opposed to standards that have been drilled into your mind since high school by Disney and Hollywood movies, and honestly, in this day and age, probably pornography and like rap music, and not just rap music, rock music is, videos as well. So anyway, that's all I had to say. And check out Song of Songs. Have a wonderful day.